Makenna and Daniel Silvas, proud Californians with conservative values. Dive into the Golden State's latest news, laws, and national stories. No fluff, no filter, just raw, honest takes on how these issues impact you. Tune in for truth, laughs, and bold perspectives. Let's get started.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to California Unfiltered. I am your lovely host, Makenna.
And this is your IE Riverside County guy from Hoopa Valley, Daniel Silvas, here representing.
So we have a wonderful guest on tonight. We're going to obviously touch on a lot of topics, but we have Oscar from California Movement.
So his full name, Oscar Avila, Lucky Vato 213, famous guy on Instagram, and he's the president of the California Movement, which is a Latino Christian conservative grassroots movement for parents in all California. And then I'm here proudly to present him, and it's gonna be a good show. Good show.
So let's go ahead and get right into it.
Yes.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. Today we have Oscar with us. Oscar, go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Oscar. I'm the head of California Movement. I'm the founder and CEO. It's a grassroots activism group in California. We are mandated by God to take back California from Him, remove it, snatch it away from the wicked hands of the progressives that want to trans their children and turn this state into a degenerate utopia.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So let's start with AB 495. There was a rally. You were there. Talk about it.
Yeah, that was last Tuesday. That was pretty fun. Group of us went over there to rally. Pastor Jack Hibbs that put a call out there. So we got the little early who wanted to go in and do some some speaking at some of these meetings they had. And my first time going into the halls of Sacramento. It was pretty interesting. There's a lot of meetings going on all at one time, so we have to rush from one to the other one. But we were able to speak on that. I just kind of give a no vote on that, and then we're able to kind of attend the other meeting, the one for the redistricting map for the I guess for the ballot in November. So that was a little. We got like 30 seconds. We got to speak a little bit about that. But it was pretty good though. People went. We all kind of did like a 1 day turnaround. We left in the morning and came back at night. So I was saying earlier that we kind of left in the morning. Not really. We left at 1 in the morning from SoCal. It's like about maybe like a 7-8 hour drive. So we had no idea what we were in for. So we're a little excited, about the long drive and coming back the same day. But we drove out there, got there, had breakfast at 7 a.m. Got there, started walking the halls about 8 a.m. in the morning, 9 a.m. Went to a couple meetings, get to some interviews, and then we had the rally about 1 or 2 o'clock. We did some prayers and worship, did some more meetings, and then we came back maybe about 5 or 6. Got home maybe about midnight. But it was pretty good though. Like I was saying, on the way back, we were pretty excited. We felt like we just kind of went into the enemy's camp and did like a kamikaze on them. We were all excited. We didn't know what to expect. We went in there, hit him hard, hit him with some truth, and we came back home, and and it was a great day for sure.
That's awesome. I wish I could have been there. I saw the videos and all the amount of people who were there, and just looked awesome. So
well, next time I'll let you know. We'll do it again.
For sure. Yep. Mm-hmm. So Daniel, what you got for us?
Well,
Daniel was invited, but so you know, just so the world knows, Daniel flaked on this one. And I'm not one to.
I got a city.
I'm not one to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm gonna throw you under the van because you should have been there. So let me hear your excuse now.
Just to let the audience know that your boy Daniel Silvas here does have public duties down in SoCal in Riverside County, and my name was called to do a certain stuff right here. But Oscar, and audience, I hope everybody's having a great day so far. I do got this is one question I got for Oscar right here from California Movement. Why does AB 495 allow non-relatives to assume custody of children without requiring parental consent or court approval?
That's another question. I wish I knew how to answer that. I just know that that's wrong. I have friends that work in in the child care services. Friends that run their own that they run their own um, adoption agency. That they work for the courts. And it is so hard to get custody of a child. Through a court. And you've got to pass background checks. I mean, I know people that have adopted children. It takes years to get approved. You got to go through the system. And for someone to just be able to just pick up a child without, by circumventing the courts, or even like a notary, because I think from that, I don't even think you need to have a notarized piece of paper. I think it could be just some kind of like personal affidavit. So I don't understand why, but I just know that these are Democrats that are pushing it. There's nobody in the right that believes in this. Nobody that has the right mind to trust that any adult would be trusted without a background check with a child. So it's pretty scary.
No, definitely. I mean, it's the bill is so vague too. A lot of the words are it's large words that people the common person can't understand. It's the wording is very vague. I mean, what are your thoughts on, I guess, caregiver, which is also another vague term that they use in the bill? Uh, is it going to exploit children? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm not an expert on that. I read the bill briefly, and I know there's a lot of
Hmm.
this is so why I think it's so dangerous. Even Nicole Pearson, the attorney, she went through it. And she's got a good video on it, and the fact that the bill is so vague, I think, of what makes it so dangerous. Because people that are that are bad people that have bad intentions are going to use these loopholes, to their advantage. And one reason why I've talked against about it, why I've been against this bill, because I know that usually the victims of these kind of crimes, are children that come from broken families, children that are raised by a single grandmother, a single parent, or maybe a mom, or whatever. It's always the socially economically disadvantaged child. Usually, it's always a child that doesn't have parents that are really involved. It's always these child. And I know from studying these people, I know that predators, prey on these kids. They go out there. We did a video a while back, where they interviewed this a convicted child molester. He had just got out of prison. They asked him, so now his job was to help law enforcement like protect children. Right? He said when he was a predator, what he looked for the fatherless homes. The children
I
that
yeah, I
was
know the
so
interview you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was so scary, right? Because he was so blunt,
Oh,
and I know it's common sense, but so I think maybe people that are well intended or say, well, it's not a bad bill because it protects children, right? But in reality, every child has a
mhm,
emergency card on file at the school. They got neighbors,
mhm.
they got family. There's always somebody in their card, right? So what it is, it eliminates that card, and I think it puts others in that position of being able to pick them up. And I think this is where the danger comes in: is the parent's not around. The parent, for some reason, not around, right? Whatever reason, right? Not around, and the parent has no control of who picks up the child, but that adult now becomes the main benefactor or the main custodial care, and that person could be a good person or it could be a bad person. And I don't know about you,
Mhm.
but I have daughters. I have daughters, and I don't even allow my own family to pick them up sometimes, because they got some crazy kids, So I'm very protective of my kids. So I would really fear for any child to be picked up by anybody that the mom or their dad do not approve of. That's wrong.
Definitely. It really allows like SVPs to operate in plain sight too. We have this issue right now in California where they're being released early, and many of them not even doing their full sentences in prison. Personally, I don't think they should be released at all. I think they all should be chemically castrated, and live the rest of their days in prison. But that's just my opinion. So.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And Oscar, you brought up a very important thing. So every parent in California in with their kid in public school, they have like an emergency contact card. Who to call in case for anything, right? And me being a parent myself, I'll be very, very upset if one day I would find out that one of my daughters is being it took by a stranger. So I got a question for you, Oscar. So what protections ensure AB 495 won't undermine parental authority by allowing third parties to make decisions for children without oversight?
So, I mean, is there anything in the bill that has that that has protections? I don't know. I don't think there is. I mean, this is why I think we're so upset against this bill, because literally this bill gives somebody a blank card, a blank,
It feels like a blank check, huh?
yeah, like a blank check for a child, So I don't know. I mean, I just think this bill is so dangerous, it was I think so rushed through, so badly written. I think that it's in the danger to a family and altogether. So I'm not sure if there's any kind of provisions that protect children. I just know that the bill puts them in danger. I know that. So yeah,
What it sounds like though is that there's no like set requirements or restrictions like in this bill. I think like what the main goal is, I forget who wrote the bill, but it was a she, I believe, was saying that, oh, it's for children of immigrant families and when addressing the deportation issue and stuff like that. But in reality, it doesn't just, you know, address that. It affects all of our kids.
right,
So I don't know if you read over the bill, but it sounds to me there's no, I guess, steps or guidelines or restrictions, whatever you want to call it, uh, to it really.
right. And I think what I have heard from people that are kind of look into it, legal minds, people that are kind of like this for a living. I mean, I kind of just read it and kind of just kind of trust the experts, as I would say, But I think what they're saying is because we are a sanctuary state, that it puts the whole country in danger, because literally what it does, it
Hmm.
allows people to bring kids into the state and then do that to them somehow. It'll happen here, so it pretty much puts the entire country at stake, because literally, that the state's known for homeless people, for sexual surgeries on minors, so now you have a law that allows you to take custody, I guess temporary custody of a child. They can't find the parent, and the bill says, I guess, says that you have to like show a due diligence, that you try to get a hold of the parents and you couldn't get a hold of them, and then you have an affidavit that says, I tried, I promise, it's not my
Then you
name.
could lie about it. They
You
could
can lie
totally
about
lie
it,
about that.
yeah, you can lie about it. So I'm saying, what stops somebody from bringing a kid from another state and saying, no, the parents, abandoned this kid at a Home Depot or at a Walmart or whatever, right?
Mm.
It could be a baby, and then now all of a sudden this person has legal custody of this child, you know, in some way, so it's pretty dangerous.
Does this bill contain background checks? Anything like that?
From what I hear, it doesn't, yeah. I
No,
mean, I've heard that
no.
they don't even require an ID, so that shows
Any documentation really.
any document, yeah. It's just like an affidavit. It's just a sworn affidavit, not even notarized. Just I just my name so and so.
Yeah.
I promise to take care of the kid. The parents were not found for whatever reason. And that's it. So what it is, like I said, they use it as a way to. And I think it's more like a fear tactic. It's more part of Newsom's California, Trump-proof California, more of this fear mongering. That they want to have everybody live in fear. Oh my God, vote for this bill, because people are getting deported, and as far as me, I haven't heard anybody that I haven't seen any videos of kids that are being homeless, that are being abandoned by parents. It hasn't happened to my knowledge, So they're pretty much lying about this, and using this as a political move against Trump, really, Um, yeah, and at the same time, it endangers, like I said, endangers communities that are not very well off, families that don't have a strong structure, So these kids, my daughter's fine, my school with my daughter, my nieces, they know who they are, they'll call the mom, but certain kids that the parents are not involved, or certain kids that are not known per se in school as much,
Yeah.
and so,
I'm worried about
they'll be
children that have autism
yeah,
or special
Oh
needs
yeah, that's
that
true. Yeah.
cannot defend themselves. And
yeah.
I'm a heavy advocate for protection of kids that have autism. That's me personally. And as well, this bill sounds like a real anti-parent bill to me.
It is. I mean, consider not even just this bill, but consider every other bill that has touched on kids and family in California, backed by a Democrat, that is. Every bill that addresses kids and schools and families backed by Democrats has nothing to do, it has everything to do with the government control over family issues and not supporting parental rights. Like, look, you have they're trying to install the trans books and the sexually, sexual content in the schools. Republicans fought back against it. The Temecula School Board fought back against it. But Democrats, I really, really question the mindset or the state of the Democrat Party right now, because they push so hard to warp our kids and to take our kids away from us. I don't have any kids yet. I'm way too young for that right now. But as someone who was a nanny for really, really young boys and girls, it does hit home for me too, because I don't understand why they want to take away our kids so badly and destroy their development, like their mental development.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it just shows how broken the system is. I mean, just the case of that little boy that just can't think of his name, the little boy that they believe that he's dead, right? That he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
They arrested the two parents, or
Mm-hmm.
the couple a few days ago and stuff. And they can't find the body still. And records show that I guess the father, or if he's the father or not, the guy he had a previous conviction of of a child abuse or whatever, and the baby's mentally damaged for life, I guess, for whatever reason the father beat him. So some of the courts failed and the guy got out. And we see time and time again where you could go back in history and see so many kids, that get abused and I'm not sure you can say unalived or the other word and stuff, but so many kids that pass away, because literally, the system, there's reports that are made, there's welfare checks, the kid is left there for whatever reason, and then the parent ends up doing something, or these abusive parents, that courts order the parents to have visitation rights, and the kids are screaming they don't want to go because they're afraid of the parent, and the courts force the kids to go. It happens so much, and so I'm not sure why California in general protects predators so much. It's something like instead of protecting the children and being for them, they protect the abusers. And now we have another law that will create a whole new culture of abusers, a whole new lineup of people that could be a danger to children. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling.
No, it really is.
And I'll tell you guys this: with Sacramento, whenever they pass any bill regarding children or school, it's horrendous, it's horrible. But I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure that every politician in Sacramento has their kids in private school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Newsom does.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those situations where rules for D, but not for me.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Well, what does he got to say about that, Mac?
I mean, I'm all for private schools, charter schools, home schools. It's hypocritical in a way because, like I said, Newsom has his kids in private school. A lot of the rich Democrats have their kids in the best schooling ever, but they want to allow the majority of kids, especially K through 12, or actually even younger than that, I would say middle school to like preschool even. These public schools aren't teaching the correct stuff. They're teaching indoctrination, in my opinion. And it just comes back to, the hypocrisy of the Democrat Party. Because they might say one thing, but they do a complete other. So.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
And Oscar, why does the bill's language does not require parental notification or approval for caregiver affidavit, and how does it align with constitutional parental rights?
Well, it doesn't. It's totally dissolved. Because we know according to the law of the land, the parents are the overseers, the caretakers of the children and stuff. So this totally bypasses that, and I don't know why California continues to write laws that are contrary to the Constitution. I mean, I know there might be lawsuits and stuff, hopefully, but that takes years. But I mean, I'm not sure why they continue to do things that go against the grain. That violate federal law. It just like I said, it just it's almost like do it on purpose. It's like they have all these laws, and they have these laws now where they limit the amounts of punishment for an adult to date a minor. I think within 6 years or whatever. I mean, it doesn't require them to be on any kind of a registry for life or whatever. It just all these laws that are almost they're intended to weaken protection for children, and they're made to protect these abusers and stuff and these pedophiles. It's crazy. I don't understand who's running who's running these laws. I mean, who's running Sacramento? It was funny because we seen when we were walking to the Capitol in the morning, we seen Wiener walking out of the Capitol, and this guy literally, it's funny, it could be a meme. He's literally on the phone, talking to somebody, or yelling at him, and he had a banana in his hand, holding a banana and on the phone. It was just the funniest thing ever. And he's super tall. So he was literally across the street. We were yelling at him, calling him names, and he was just ignoring them. But he's on the phone talking to somebody. He's got a banana in his hand. What's that about? Okay.
A lot of times they're not even talking to somebody on the phone.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just pretending
That's what I was
to.
thinking. Probably just lying because he knows it. So it was a bunch of us. We were just calling him names and calling him a pedophile and stuff. And he just on the phone with a banana in his hand. So what is that?
It makes you wonder what's on his mind, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I live for the day that I'm at Sacramento or I'm just somewhere where Newsom is and I just see him in person. I just can't wait for the day just to say what I want to say so badly.
Yeah.
You know, I just live for that.
But it'll happen. You know what? What I noticed is most of these people that are Senate or Assembly, they walk to their cars alone. Most of them don't have any.
Mhm.
Maybe some might have security, right? Most of them
Yeah.
don't. Wiener by himself. He had no security. So literally, I'm saying we gotta call these people out. Literally. We gotta call them out. Jam them up. Put them on the record and stuff. I know that video that went viral. I think about a year ago, where little Max Bonilla. He's not little, but he's a youngster. Max Bonilla.
Yeah,
He called out.
yeah.
He was
Bright young mind.
he was
Yeah.
Max there too, but it
Good
didn't work.
Good kid.
But he called him out. That was so gold. That was so perfect. But literally, that's what happens every day. They say if you're there in Sacramento, you'll see them walk to their cars by themselves. I said, man, I
Yeah.
wish I lived here. I would literally camp right here, just wait for them.
Shoot. I'd be there every day.
So
Grilling them.
yeah.
What's
And also,
funny though?
I'm pretty sure
well,
that. Go for it, Matt. Go for it.
Okay. No, I just wanted to mention Charlie Kirk. So Newsom's younger son, or maybe it's an older son, he has multiple kids. So one of his sons, I guess, is like a big fan of Charlie Kirk, which is so funny to me. I'm like, you're raising a Republican right now, which is so hilarious. But go ahead, Daniel. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to mention one thing that regarding the California movement. I'm pretty sure, like, California movement is full of parents, right, Oscar? And,
of course,
and all these parents, they care about what happens in their school district, in their school board.
Mm-hmm.
And they care about what's being taught in the curriculum at the schools, right? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the idea of the movement was, we know that we all a lot of us were already kind of on the ground already. Most of us that are in the team are on the ground. We were kind of helping people with campaigns locally and stuff, and I was really part of the Trump campaign, so we really kind of hit it hard with Trump. We wanted to get him in the White House, and we were able to kind of do some stuff, and we had some good times, But I realized that Trump being in office does nothing for California. As we see, Trump is talking about defunding the Department of Ed, right? Which is cool, right? But literally, you have boys that are in girls sports and stuff, and really, California with Newsom, like now Newsom's trying to like clown Trump now. He's literally trying to copy Trump, and he's trying to meme Trump now. So they're pushing back. They're
copying with everything.
Yeah. They don't have an original thought in their mind, right? But what it is no matter who's in the White House, California is like their own country. We have so much here, that they do what they want. So I realized, I go Trump in the White House. It's a good deal, but I think California needs to change. So we need a Trump in Sacramento. We need somebody to change California. So I figured, well, what better opportunity to do it now? We have Trump in the White House. We got a victory. The Latinos, as myself, a lot of us are kind of turning to the right. And Latinos were naturally conservative. We believe in family. I've always been. I have 4 daughters. Well, actually, I have 7 daughters. I had 4 bio, and then I have 3 for my wife. So I have 7 beautiful daughters. And I feel like a king when I'm around them. So I believe in family. Grandkids I got some grandkids now. More coming in the way. So I really and I'm like the copycat of mostly Latinos my age. We love family. We love our culture and stuff. So we're conservative. We like to conserve what's good, which is that family value. We believe in God and stuff. We believe in a good community, safe schools. Freedom. So I said, why not continue the movement, but in California only. Start So we started doing that, and most of us were involved in parental rights. Sonia Shaw, we're involved in that. We were involved in helping her get elected and stuff. So I believe it's just another level for us to get involved in politics. And I was never in politics. I never cared about it. I voted, but I voted for whoever I seen on TV. But as I got red pilled, like they say, as I got the lights on in my head, I began to realize that there's a big difference between the right and the left. And the right, the Republican Party, being not perfect or nothing, but still, that's a party that believes in family value, family structures, parental rights, freedom. So I said, well, that's the party that we kind of more identify with. But they're not perfect. So we have our voice, and we just help people that run for office, and we want to support them, and have them be known and back them up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
also want to tell you this. So, in recent years, California has trended right towards the red, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I highly believe that the California governor Newsom knows about it. Every politician in Sacramento knows about the rightward shift. So I think that's all part of the Gavin Newsom's redistricting plan.
Well, it is,
You know,
obviously.
Oh, yeah.
and
But he's only redistricting because Texas is doing it,
That's
which it passed in
what the news.
Texas, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, it passed, I think, the Senate in Texas
Mhm.
or the Assembly, one of the two.
and,
Um,
and the thing is that Gavin Newsom has to bypass what's law
Yeah.
in order for it to happen.
That's right.
Texas, it's legal to do it
Yeah,
because
exactly. Yeah.
it's in their
Yeah.
constitution. They could do
Yeah.
it. But California has its
Yeah.
own constitution.
Right.
And
mhm.
Yeah.
so Gavin Newsom has to bypass what the California voters already voted for many years ago, which is a nonpartisan
Yeah.
congressional
Yeah.
committee.
Committee. Yeah. Yeah. And that's so true. So I mean, I just found out. Like last week. When I went to the meeting. So I didn't know that. I knew what they were trying to do. I know they want to gerrymander. And even now the maps that were out. Because even now when we ran a couple years ago for local school boards, the maps were all like tweaked. They were all like weird. And you could tell they were like trying to stretch it here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we still won, right, in our city at least. But I could tell that they were already kind of gerrymandered. But with this, what they do is they're using the data that they have in the last election, and what they're doing is they will stretch the boundaries of those maps to grab blue votes to flip red votes. So I think we have like 9 seats right now that are in danger. I think 8 of them are in pretty serious danger. So we could literally lose every Republican. In the assembly, Senate, so you're talking about it. So we're going to have, if you think being a third of two thirds, is a minority. Imagine having nobody, having like one person. I mean, who's going to want to run, right? So literally, this is literally. And so what I did when I spoke on that, on that agenda item, I said that you're literally breaking the law. This is what you call election interference. You're literally breaking the law to rig an election. You're literally going to map. You're literally going to change the map guidelines or the map perimeter to grab votes and to eliminate other votes. It'll be, and of course, I think I was talking about Assembly David Tangiba. We're talking about him earlier, and he's the one that was really pushing back against this bill they wanted to pass, right? And he was saying, well, who's the one that approved the maps? Who's the one that printed them? They couldn't see who it was. And nobody wanted to claim who wrote the maps, who drew out the maps. Nobody wanted to claim, oh, somebody did it. Nobody knew what. And then the maps were released. I think, or the verbiage. I think the day before the meeting, nobody had read it, but they wanted to pass it. So we were there to say no. You shouldn't pass it. Nobody read it, but of course, there are a majority. I think it was like 5-2 votes. So it was 2. It was David and somebody else, and then 5 against him. So we're on number big time. And if this passes, we're not going to have any voice left.
And
We need James O'Keefe to go undercover, or
Oh
send
yeah.
someone to go undercover to figure out who's doing what
James is
in
awesome.
Capitol. Oh my gosh. But what's crazy to me is, I don't know if you saw it, but Katie Porter is allegedly leading in the gubernatorial race, which is concerning to me. I think the top 2 right now is Bianco and Porter, actually,
Oh,
which I think would be a good, I guess, debate or whatever. But in the fact of redistricting, Newsom's only doing it because Texas is doing it, and there's a whole constitutional difference. I understand that, but it's kind of you can see that Newsom knows that he's losing, the Democrats are losing, and it's like this is their final hope.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Oh yeah.
it's their final hope.
Yeah. The Hail Mary. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also feel for the voters, right? Because I'm gonna give you one real life example. Congressman Ken Calvert. He's the longest serving
Yeah.
Republican congressman in California, in all of California.
Yep.
So
They're trying to get him
he's
out.
he's currently the representative of an area of Riverside County where he got elected out of. They want to gerrymander, move his district to Los Angeles County. How does that make sense?
Oh wow.
And then I feel bad for Los Angeles voters because they didn't vote for this.
No.
They don't want King Coward to be their elected official. And on top of that, Riverside County voted for Ken Calvert to be their elected official. So why is Gavin Newsom totally going behind the voters' back? That's the part that ticks me off as a Californian.
Well, here's the thing, though. District 43, I believe it is, in San Diego, Congressman Darrell Issa represents 43, I believe. Don't hold it to me. I'm forgetting the exact number, but it's up here in northern San Diego County. His seats would be affected by it. If this passes, he's kicked out because his district has always elected a Republican. There's I don't think there's ever been a Democrat in his district. So this redistricting would also push Darrell Issa out, if you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean,
A lot of major Republicans.
yeah. I mean, they're playing hardball, you know. So they're kind of they're playing for keeps. So they really want to just take every seat, you know.
Personally, I think Newsom, this move is a beta male move because it's a reactionary move based on an alpha male state that they're doing because they can,
Yeah.
and I think this is going to trigger a nationwide reaction. I think every red state is going to do the same thing what Texas did,
Yeah.
and then the blue states. I personally think they already gerrymandered as much as they can. I don't think they could
I mean, look at
gerrymander.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. Like, who drew those maps?
Mm.
A young kid from school. It had to be real creative.
It's like scribbles.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So funny to me. Yeah.
So again, like I urge every Californian to vote no. Is it called Prop 50?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a name to it yet? I haven't seen a name to it yet.
Let me ask my tech guy back here.
I just know it's like a proposal that was the assembly approved on Thursday, I believe it was. I don't think I haven't seen a name for it yet.
Yeah. It'll be out pretty soon. Yeah, we'll be able to
Yeah.
talk about it and maybe yeah. But I mean, yeah, this is big. So we have to make sure that we make enough noise and let everybody know that this is wrong. And from what I'm hearing, I think most Californians don't want this because they already voted to make it independent. So I think most Californians do not want this. But of course, you have the radical, diehard leftists. That don't care. They will cheat. They will censor you. They will dox you. They don't care.
So, according to our tech whiz Gio, thank you Gio out there, that it's called Proposition 50, 50.
Okay.
So it's already on there. Yeah. Okay.
So I urge every Californian to vote no on Prop 50.
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Vote no on a lot of propositions and assembly bill.
Yeah, usually all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a lot coming.
And I believe the official number is, as of right now, for Gavin Newsom's plan for Prop 50 is about $200 million allegedly. Expensive.
Around, I think.
All for one proposition.
Yeah.
For one.
Let's totally forget about the deficit that we're in and the debt that we're in.
Oh yeah.
Are we just forgetting about it?
And it's so mind-blowing. So we were driving down California on the way back, from the meeting last week, and we drove by a bunch of fields, through Fresno and in Central Valley, and all over the fields, the dry fields, there's nothing being grown, and they all have like hate Newsom signs everywhere. Hate Newsom, you suck, Pelosi.
It's pretty red through there too.
Shift, yeah. I mean, literally, they because literally there's no water. They literally killed all the farms in Central Valley.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are are hurting, but most of them are empty, and I think at this time they should have some crops already. But they look pretty empty, So you can tell California doesn't like Newsom, but you have these deep, heavily populated blue cities like LA and the Bay Area that maybe even San Diego. This is kind of how they get elected. They have these big red voting blocks that really pick them all the time. You know what I mean? So the regular people like in the IE, we don't vote for Newsom. We're a little more conservative. But we get outvoted by the numbers. So I think too that this whole census thing that Trump's trying to do, the midterm census thing, I think he wants to eliminate all these illegal people that are counter and stuff, because it's giving them more seats too to the Congress and stuff. So I think a lot of that maybe might be able to help balance it out too, But I mean, this is what it is, Literally, all these people that are being counted, they hate Newsom, but they don't vote. I mean, they don't vote. They're quiet. So the ones that are really active are the ones that are in deep blue cities. All these extreme leftist progressive people. They vote. I mean, I always get. I mean, because I used to be a Democrat for years, and I still get mail from people that are in the area. Vote for me. And they say Trump's a racist. So, man, I look at the mail and I say, man, these people are crazy. But I mean, they got money. They push lies, propaganda. And people that are not aware of it fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want all the audience and people in California to know that once upon a time, California's Central Valley, the Grapevine, for crying out loud, was called the salad bowl of the world. What was the term, Oscar?
I'm not sure, bro. Yeah,
I think it was called the salad bowl of the world or something like that. But California, once upon a time, before Newsom and the Democrat supermajority Sacramento, we were a green state, a blue state filled with water. Not holding water up north from going to people's homes or to the farmland.
The reason we don't have water because they want to protect a stupid fish.
Yeah, fish, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Ridiculous, yeah.
So you rather let people, affect people, but you rather protect a fish?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What?
Ridiculous, yeah. Wow.
I wonder if the fish is voting. If dead people could vote, can fish vote?
Fish vote. Honestly, to Democrats, they probably can. At this rate. So
I'm pretty sure there's a ballot out there called Heckle Fish.
It is possible. You never know. Never know anymore, I feel like.
So Oscar, I want to give you another message here. So what's the message you got for the California people, for our audience, to talk about the California movement? Give us one last hoorah.
Yeah, so I would say to all the Latinos, all the conservative minded, just understand whether you're black, whether you're white, Latino, most of us are conservative. If you love your family, if you love your children, if you love God, if you love tradition, you're conservative. You're not a progressive, you're not a liberal. Liberals, progressive people, they have no standard, they have no morality. They go by their feelings. They go by whatever the media tells them. Whatever the fake news pushes, they believe it. And us, we have a way we're pretty rooted in what we believe in. We believe in freedom and our family, and do what's right. Protecting children. So if you're like that, pay attention. Come next year, November for this bill, and then come next year for the midterms. Vote. Don't vote for Democrats. Vote for conservatives. On the right, you might not agree with them, but you know what? These are the ones that are going to save California. In California, life is always about balance, right? Even in what you eat, and what you do, it's always a balance, right? So California is so off balance right now, so we have to bring it back to the middle, so we have to let people that are on the other side to bring it back to a central ground. Right now we're so far left, so just vote according to your values, vote for your family, for your children, and save California. Work with us, join the movement, Instagram, Caleb.movement, join the movement, help us. We got gear, we'll be having events coming up this year, next year. Get involved, get involved.
And you got it, folks. You believe in God, you're no longer a Democrat, you're a conservative. Yeah. And with that,
conservative heart.
Feel free to join California Movement. Follow their Instagram, California movement, correct? Instagram handle?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So you got it, folks. So God bless you, Oscar. Right, Makenna? Mm-hmm. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for coming on tonight. Guys.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oscar, your name is Daniel. So let's go ahead and just do kind of a recap here. We touched on AB 495. We touched on the redistricting. So what are your final thoughts on those two topics? And then we have a couple more here to touch on.
So and for the audience, that's Oscar refusing to exit the door.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, oh.
The security team is trying to force Oscar out the door, but Oscar screaming, bring me back in. He's not done.
Thank you, Oscar.
so
Appreciate it.
so my see Oscar. Bye. The security's gonna guard you out the door.
Go ahead and
Log out button. Log out button.
just hit the X on your computer. You'll be good. There you go. Okay.
And that was our buddy
You know what?
Oscar.
This is good.
That
This
was our
is
buddy
funny.
Oscar audience refusing to exit the stage. Yeah, multiple security guards had to escort him out for his own protection, not our protection. His own protection.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and with that recap.
So my final thoughts and recap is that I'm so glad that California parents and California people spoke and protested for 2 straight days in Sacramento last week, right?
Mhm.
And they spoke their piece, and the people spoke. And my final thoughts on AB 495, horrendous bill, the most terrible bill in California history to ever try to be passed. And I hope by the 29th of this, so 2/9 of this month, I hope the California senators ultimately reject that bill.
Yep, I agree. Definitely. I wanted to talk about the horrendous X post by Newsom and his newsroom team. Have you seen like the merch that he's like putting out that's like literally mimicking Trump's merch? Make California or Newsom was always right and stuff like that. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I'm gonna show everybody on X the horrendous like merch that they're trying to create. Oh my gosh. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I believe one of them says, "Make America Gavin again."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So
I responded to that post from their newsroom, and it was the most hilarious thing. I'm like, this is a weak attempt to copy what's already great, you know. So
my message to get to the governor, to Gavin Newsom, is like, I don't know who your consultants are. I recommend you give them a timeout, and you take a timeout from campaigning. Find out what platform you want to,
I'm
promote.
gonna show everybody what I'm looking at.
I
If
hope
it wants to,
our hope audience can see. If not, we're gonna post it.
yeah,
Up
I don't know if we can see it, but it's probably not. But it says Newsom was right about everything, and then there's a shirt one that says Trump is not hot.
Oh.
Oh wow! Like
and,
you are.
and I believe that Valuetainment's main host, Patrick Bet David, he gave a direct message to Gavin Newsom, and then we're gonna have that for the audience come in this slot time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
No.
But then lastly, kind of here, just to kind of wrap everything up for everybody. Trump signed an executive order to make it illegal to burn the American flag. I think you have to if you burn the American flag and you're found guilty of it, you have to spend 1 year in jail. Newsom responded to that actually today that I saw. I was kind of just scrolling through X earlier today.
What did he say?
This is probably not going to be word for word, but he said something along the lines in like an X post or his newsroom did, about how people on January 6th replaced the American flag with the Trump flag. And of course, they want to continue to harp on January 6th. Let me remind everybody that was a whole setup to make Trump supporters look bad.
One, one, the far left, they're still talking about J6 and January 6th.
Ridiculous.
They cannot let it go. And the reason they cannot let it go, because that's probably one of their last victories they've had in many years. And that's the only thing they could even talk about. They had many losses since then. Many, many.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even really call it a victory, to be honest with you. I think,
A
I
major
mean,
fail.
my personal opinion was, yeah, it was a stolen election. I have no problem making that known because it was clearly so obvious. But my other point is, I feel like it needed to happen because we wouldn't be where we are today and we wouldn't have figured out just how bad the Democrats are, just how bad Biden was. Because without him actually being in office, unfortunately, we would have never known. And I'm sure a lot of people would have still been asleep about it. I think a lot of people are still asleep, but also a lot of people are waking up to it. So Trump has done a lot in like what, the first 9 months now, almost 9 months.
Well, what I think it is the American people, and especially the Californian people, are starting to see, and what's really happening at our schools was really happening in Sacramento, and people are waking up, and people are revolting. They don't want no more of the supermajority, and I agree. And I do want to say that's out for folks. So we want to, I want to say God bless everybody. Have a great happy week, and get ready for the next show, right, McKenna?
Yes, I'm excited. Of course, tune in every Monday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Follow us on Instagram, X. We will have a Facebook soon, also on Rumble, and subscribe to our YouTube account. Other than that, God bless and have a wonderful night.